If you want your Facebook ads to do really well, it's not only about writing amazing Facebook ad copy, it's also about that next step, which is really important. So in today's video, I'm going to show you kind of a landing page structure that you can use so that when people like and enjoy your Facebook ad, you get them really curious and excited about the possibilities of your offer. They go to that landing page and you close the sale by getting them to opt in with the perfect structure that you need to use. So I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step, an example that I wrote to kind of walk you through the different sections to make sure that whether you're running a webinar or a PDF opt-in, or maybe just selling a complete offer altogether, what are those different things that you need to include on your landing page to ensure that you are closing the loop with your customer or your prospect to get them to take the action that you want the most. So if this is the first time joining one of my lives, I'm Brian Czekanski, and I help coaches leverage their time and expertise by starting more conversations using full confidence ads. My opt-in right there, fullconfidenceads.com, shows you, even if you haven't run Facebook ads at all, how to start from the very beginning in terms of how to write very compelling Facebook ad copy, how to actually go into Business Manager, create everything, all the buttons that you need to push along the way via a series of different video downloads that you can have. And then once you're running Facebook ads, how to optimize that performance over time. So, one of the things that I see most often is, again, people spend a lot of time on kind of that first step. But once people click through, once you've got their time and attention and you've got some momentum, you have to be able to kind of close that via a landing page or a sales page. Sales page I talked about yesterday, so check that out if you didn't see it yesterday. But today we're talking about a little bit more simple landing page, shorter in length, going through specific structures. And I'll show you an example, again, just to kind of bring it to life. But again, it's all about that audience and kind of building that congruency between your Facebook ad and that landing page. So let's just kind of jump into the example here, and I'll just show you that and walk you through the various different sections. So this one is just for, this is a landing page for a business coach. And you can see at the top here, the idea is, if you're running Facebook ads as much as possible, is to make it congruent with your Facebook ads. So again, if you have an image here, as much as possible, if you can line up those images just so that once your audience gets here, they're not thrown off guard. They're not, it's not a surprise to them. So as much as possible, if you could make the graphic the same one, that just makes it a really, they know they're in the right place. They know they're, have come to what they're looking for. They're not completely thrown off guard by a completely different image or something else. So again, making sure that there is kind of that connection between the Facebook ad and the landing page as much as possible. And a great way to do that is with the image. Again, you might be testing out various different images in your Facebook ad, but think about how you can do that over time. And then on the right-hand side, thinking about, like, again, even if somebody doesn't scroll, again, this is a lead magnet opt-in. So how can I put all the information at the top of the page to capture their attention so that they can kind of opt in right away? Again, if I hit this download button right here, what that'll do is I don't have to scroll at all to take the action that you want me to. So in this case, kind of downloading now, that pop-up. So again, think about, like, you've captured their time and attention. They shouldn't have to take any action whatsoever to, if you're on mobile, make sure that opt-in, make sure that download button, make sure that, that call to action is something that they don't have to scroll at all. Like, make it as easy as possible for people to take the action that you want them to. In this case, kind of a download now. And then what we have here is kind of just like this is a little bit longer of a headline, but similar to a sales page. Let's put that headline in there in terms of the outcome that we are promising, in terms of, in this case, an opt-in, but it could be a webinar, whatever it is. Like, what is that promise that you're putting out there? With this one, who, not how, the 6 steps to having other people complete every project that you want done quicker and better than you could have done them yourself. And then below that, just kind of like a little bit of a subheadline to add a little bit more, to add some credibility, to kind of back up that promise right there. Discover how to go from scattered and disorganized to orderly and systematized, and get more done in 12 weeks than most do in 12 months. So again, for this coach, it's all about kind of that productivity, getting a lot of stuff done and not getting caught in the weeds as you go along. And then, on the left-hand side, you can see, like, okay, it's 3 simple pages, this little PDF. He's going to walk you through those 6 scaling secrets to get more done within that time frame. So super easy. It's not this big long thing that you're going to have to spend hours on. It gives you kind of a free preview of what it's all about. So again, the key thing again with headlines, especially in the landing, with that landing page, without having for them to scroll whatsoever, put that headline and at least one sub headline that kind of builds out what is the outcome that this specific thing is going to deliver for them. Again, going back to the video I had yesterday on sales pages, if you can be specific about it, if you can raise the curiosity about like what your formula is all about, if you can hit on some of their pain points, we've done that here a little bit, and then promising a solution along the way. If you can give a time frame, again, one of the things that we did include here was kind of the time frame of 12 weeks and getting stuff done along the way. That's not to say that you have to include all those things, but really think about those 7 different elements that I covered yesterday, and how can you include that in the headline or the subheadline and really build up that expert, like how can you put some credibility and maybe some testimonials, like little testimonial words and phrases into that subheadline to build up the credibility and get them scrolling along the way. And then you're obviously going to have people that just want to learn a little bit more. So on that landing page, how can we get, as they scroll down the page, how can we kind of back up, and how can we back up that this is valuable? So you do the same thing again. If somebody signed up for a webinar, you do the same thing in terms of getting into like, okay, they weren't ready to sign up right away. So we have to kind of build up that curiosity. We got to tell them a little bit more about the benefits here. We might have to introduce you as well. If you got some testimonials, that's great to have in there as well. So this one's all about a lead magnet. So all we're trying to do in a series of different bullets. Right now we have 4 or 5 bullets. We're just trying to build up curiosity, tell the audience what all the benefits that are included, give them a little bit more context so they get really excited about opting in for this. Or if you have a webinar, you give a little bit, kind of think of it as like the movie trailer to that full movie along the way. Your idea is just to kind of tease out as much as possible what they're gonna discover. Some of the benefits included along the way. So you got some of these right here. The number one mistake entrepreneurs make when trying to scale their business, and why most entrepreneurs can't fix this critical mistake that increases their personal workload and destroys their productivity. So again, just trying to insert some curiosity around the specific mistakes that they might be making, so that that might be the one bullet that gets them opting in, just to discover what that one mistake is and if they're making it. The simple strategy to break through time and money trade-offs and constraints so you too can finally enjoy free time with your family and actually take a vacation without constantly checking your phone. The third one, how to scale your business without increasing your personal workload or having to prematurely invest in a big team. So again, that's one of the things, especially for his audience, it was all about like, okay, like I want to double my business, but that means I don't want to double my work time at the same time. So I'm trying to figure out like, okay, how can I actually do this? How can I scale my business? I'm not ready to hire a team at this point. How can I kind of find those little hacks along the way that get me there? And then the final one, the Silicon Valley secret to attracting the best talent without breaking the bank, and why it's a win for both parties, even if it doesn't work out. So again, hiring, especially is a big pain point for a lot of these entrepreneurs, especially if they're doing it for the first time and trying to avoid some of those hiring mistakes. So we're kind of just pointing to one of the pain points that they have. Again, all we're trying to do in these bullets is to build up curiosity, talk about the benefits. It's a free download altogether. You do the same thing in the webinar. You kind of break it down in terms of what are those key things that are within the webinar. We're not going to give away exactly what they are, but we're going to just tease them out as much as possible in these bullets, include all the benefits around them to kind of dimensionalize them for your audience. Again, all we're trying to build up is kind of the value, the curiosity. One of these bullets alone might be the one reason that they download in there. And then, again, with Facebook ads, don't assume that people know who you are. So this is where it's good to kind of introduce you. And that's what we did in the next section here. All we're trying to do is build up the expertise of him, kind of introduce him a little bit, build up some curiosity, talk about how he's a number one best-selling author with books, including all these things, giving a little bit more information about what this PDF is all about and who it's for. So kind of qualifying people along the way. and then getting to a download now button at the bottom. So you can see super simple in terms of the landing page. Like, what other things could you include in here? Some testimonials. Again, if you have some video or written testimonials, you can kind of put them below that, especially where you introduce yourself to build up your credibility, build up your expertise as much as possible. But in terms of a really short landing page, again, we want to really speak to our audience at the very top. Kind of build up the value of whatever it is, whether it's a webinar, a video series, PDF guide. Kind of bring out, again, very similar to a movie. Kind of think of it as kind of like a movie trailer. Like, here's the bullets. Here's all the bits of value that I think are most valuable and most relevant to you. And here's all the benefits that you're going to get from it, without really getting into the nitty gritty of what it is. We're going to really tease it out, open some open loops. So they have to they have to actually download it or go into that training or watch the webinar, whatever it is, to really find out what it is along the way. And then again, kind of answering any other questions they might have. Again, introduce yourself. Don't assume that people know who you are. Again, if you have some testimonials or things like that, to build that in there, that's really helpful. But you can see just a really short landing page, and this is kind of the critical elements that you need here. And again, just making it really all about the audience. What is the outcomes that they want? Really understanding their pain points, and how have you created a guide or a PDF or a webinar that really addresses their key concerns and gets them to the outcome that they want the most as you go along the way. So super simple in terms of the structure, and hope that was really helpful. Hit that like button. Obviously share if this has been helpful along the way. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. And with that, I will see you on a future live.